I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
Good morning. Um, Check the links in the description box because I'm gonna make a statement here. This should be a lesson when you put when you put grifting over everything. This should be a lesson. I don't know why people when in this space, right? In this space of YouTube, people have done the same exact thing and didn't learn from it. The framework, the that mindset that Mr. Research was trying to get y'all I heard something. Anyway, the mindset was to get y'all to use this social media to do something good. But because money has got involved, since there's money in this, y'all would took something and made it into a grift. If black men, if the heterosexual black American male is facing all these problems, and y'all built y'all's channels, y'all YouTube careers to address each and every one of these problems, and you created a mass following. My question to y'all is simple. Why didn't y'all use this to influence what should be influenced? Why shouldn't y'all use this to influence? In other words, why haven't y'all influence this to lobby, change laws, do uh, things that are respectable among the table of nations. You use this because you have a massive following. Instead of gathering information and assist other people in their efforts to change the tide, what y'all believe is the tide that of unfairness and injustice by society, you use this to conquer uh not the need for justice, but yet you use this to conquer your need for your lust and your thirst for wealth, for greed. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of something and you getting personally enriched from it. When you take your personal enrichment and put that above the cause, therefore you don't deserve respect. You don't. You don't deserve any respect. Now, mind you, on the description box, a certain name has popped up, right? I want you to understand, I'm not just referring to him. I'm not just referring to him because only he's just there because of what's going on overseas. And his story is similar to Anton. It's similar to Tommy. It's similar to Kevin. It's similar to this and that and the third. All these black male content creators who have a massive following, it's the same story. It's a similar thread. You know, the framework mindset, the mindset and the framework of this mindset, a lot of people had misjudged. People had misjudged what whoever this content creator may be. See, policy matters, not your need to trick. How does any of you how does any of you gravitate towards, you know, how can any of y'all talk about y'all want to be the voice for the everyday brother, right? Or the voice for black men, the voice for, you know, and so forth, the downtrodden black male. And the first thing you do when you come up in in echelons of society, you fall down on this aspect of tricking. I have a trick on a female. I gotta stir the pot to get some views. I gotta get intoxicated by the sub count. And then during all that, hubris would take over. Hubris in uh wrath would take over. And my thing is, well, not I want to say wrath is sloth. Wrath, hubris and sloth had taken over. And I'm sitting here, and I'm gonna say this too. You can't, and this goes back to what I said a few years ago, about 10 years ago. I said you can't create anything out of hate and expect it to last. Now, I said this to the BWE, right? When the black women had the what's it called? The big towel movement, and then they had the black women empowerment BWE. I said this to them as well, and they done the same exact things you Negroes are doing now. Well, actually, y'all been doing it. The problem is it has caught up to y'all. It's caught up to some of y'all. Then it's taking y'all being scammed out your money, or your kids being attacked, or your business being um under siege, so y'all can at least have at least a small moment of clarity. You see, people would respect y'all more if you was about your business. The world would respect you more if you was really about your business. But the way is, you're not about your business. It go to Man of Tomorrow's last live stream, and I said this on Man of Tomorrow's last live stream. You know, you got Delta Novembers who peddling ignorance, and while they're peddling the ignorance, they're telling you, as somebody who watch or take part up on these panels and the comment sections in the chat rooms, you took part in the buffoonery, thinking though, well, my voice, me typing these words online is going to solve my problem with the wider world, not wider world, because we talking about y'all's relationships with the woman, y'all's problems with the black American woman, y'all's problems with whatever outside group or groups that you may have an issue with. And this should be a sign to tell y'all did not try to make any attempt to solve your own problems. You made no attempt to identify. I'm sorry, I was distracted, y'all. I'm distracted by something, because I might sound over the place. But I'm kind of distracted by something real quick. Um, if y'all was about your business, did what needs to be done, done it, you wouldn't have the level of disrespect you're having today. If you finished the job that you claim you was going to set out to do, if y'all would set out the job that y'all claim that what y'all was trying to do, you wouldn't be having these problems. Because first of all, people, you have more respect on the streets. For one, you would have more people would have gave you a pass if y'all had done something salacious, done something wrong, or you even thought of doing something wrong or done something wrong. They would have gave you a pass because you put out great works. Some of that would have been forgiven. Okay? But y'all haven't, because a lot of y'all are some Delta Novembers. And now, though, everything's catching up to you. And let me say this too, though, while I'm here. Because I know my name has been brought up by Edward Anderson. I know he brought my name up in something. So I'm gonna address him a little bit, but let me say this right now. When was the last time y'all actually promote policy? When? When the last time y'all actually promote policy? And no, I'm not talking about writing some stupid book that makes no sense. Blaming women for everything in the world. Writing a book. No, I'm talking about actual real policy. That's why is you got these clowns making fun, trying to troll me, saying when I ask, "Where's your white paper? Where's your blue paper? Where's your green paper at? Where are these policy positions? If black men, as a collective, is having these problems, these issues, where is your white paper, your blue paper, your green paper on positions on what need to be remedied?" And y'all been the same ones for 12 years at least talking about it. And then when it's time for y'all to meet up behind the scenes and get on these back chat conversations, you're not interested in these solutions because there is no, in y'all's eyes, in your eyes, there's no money in the solution. There's no money in the cure. That's why I have a disdain for most people over here, because it's always about the dollar. It's not always about you know the needs of the population, the needs of the populace. Um, and my thing is, you have a platform. God gave y'all the talent. Okay. My issue with y'all is God gave y'all a talent. The talent God gave you. God gave y'all um the gift of gab. Some of y'all have, some of y'all have oratorial skills. For some of y'all have some backstories, right? Whether that's better or for ill, y'all have a backstory. Now, whether that's real or not, that's besides the point. But the point is, y'all have a backstory. And then my thing is, y'all didn't use that. Y'all didn't use that to what's the word? Y'all didn't use y'all's talents in the right direction, in the right way. See, if y'all want to silence your critics, right? If you really want to silence your critics, then do what you said you was planning on doing. Especially if you have more than 10,000, 11,000, 20,000 subs. Now you ain't no small time content creator on YouTube. You ain't like me who has 2,400 subs. You ain't somebody who got less than 5,000 subs. No, you got 20,000, 10K, 20K people watching you alone. You couldn't transform that into a substantial um platform to 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 bring progress. That's why I have a disdain for y'all. I really do. I can't, I can't really um I can't really just you know um Now, some people call it jealousy. There ain't no jealousy because there's not a black man on this internet who think whatever you Negroes have, I don't want. You know, I know there's a woman you're gonna sit there talking about you jealous. This ain't about jealousy because there's not a thing you Negroes got that I want. Y'all have it all, and y'all squandering it because entertainment is better than informing people or doing what is necessary to advance the cause. And since we're going to talk about lust and the idea of lust and the idea of um, having this carnal minded, I'm gonna say something to some of you Negroes. If you're in your 40s and 50s, no, scratch that. If you're under the age of 50, I'm put it like this: if you're under the age of 50, you got no business saying, you got no business trying to trick. Okay, you got no business using your 20s and 30s and early 40s to say you're tricking. Tricking is an old man's game. Okay, why are you tricking at a young age? What's the need to trick when uh when you have all of this, when you got all this talent and you got this income, why you need the trick for? If the original argument is not my argument, your argument. If your original argument was black women won't do this, I'm talking about the American black woman that she won't do this for you, she won't do that for you. We need to, I need to go over here to the other place and get me a traditional woman. Woo, 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 woo. Then therefore, you should have attained what's over there. You want to find somebody over there. So this idea of tricking, that's for a man who's a loser, an old man who's a loser, never had a steady girlfriend, never had a an ounce of um an ounce of integrity. So his only goal is to, well, let me just use some money so I can lease trick on some young 25-year-old, a woman that's half his age, and try to use his girl as a status symbol. No, you're tricking, and that's what y'all really are promoting. You know, that's all y'all doing, and y'all think this is a badge of honor. You can't sit there and say this when black men in America are second to the bottom. I said second to the bottom because the Native American uh, man is at the bottom of the list when it comes to health, when it comes to education, when it comes to drug use, depression, what may have you. He's at the bottom. You're second from that bottom. So why would you try to be the voice for black men? And then and then when you got this to this high level position, in terms of YouTube, I'm talking about, it's basically I got a trick. I'm using this the trick off of women, younger babes, and I got a uh I got a stunt on niggas. Hold on, let me see who's in the chat room. What's going on, George? We're going with you. I should have put this up earlier, but anyway. So yeah. Right. Grown men trying to argue the age of consent, or it's not just it's just that some people think this is power. No, it's not. You know, and I'm just saying, like, listen, some of y'all are 15 years into this, and y'all not evolving. You know, they're not even evolving, and they're supposed to represent the average black man. So where is the evolving from I'm angry at my situation to, well, I'm gonna go, the next level should be, well, there's a plan of action. Well, there is no plan of action. It's the whole, I'm gonna write me a book, I'm gonna make a couple YouTube channels, and I'm going to grift. I'm going to lie and say, not me lying, but they, I'm going to sit there and say, well, I lie and say that, well, you know, I'm not, like, the thing I'm trying to say is, listen, if y'all was men of action, you would have gotten the respect from your enemies. You got respect from people who were neutral in this. You would have an easier time if y'all had done the hard work of yesteryear. What doesn't matter if the age limit is low is a crime for Americans. Right? I know, George. I know, George. I'm not disputing that, George. Yeah, I do find it nasty that some of these niggas on here trying to argue about the age of consent. Like, and this is supposed to be the representation. Y'all trying to represent black men, and then y'all have these hour-long conversations about age of consent, hour-long arguments about, well, let me go overseas and let me trick. The reason why most black men are in the way, the shape they're in, is because of there is a gap in education. There's a gap in employment and education, meaningful education, meaningful employment. And when I say meaningful employment, I'm not talking about some job that pays you minimum wage. I'm talking about a job that actually means something. You know, a job that actually means something in the grand scheme of things. Meaningful employment. But if you let these so-called content creators tell it, they need to they need to trick and scam. You know, it's time to trick and scam people. Excuse me. You know, and yeah. So I'm done with this. That's all I gotta say for this topic. I'm not gonna go more into it, George. So I might be live later on today. I'm watching Artemis 2 going around the moon. I'm watching that closely. So I'm just watching that all. That's, I have my live stream open for that. So let me get out of here, George. I appreciate you for showing up. So yeah, let me get out of here, and I'll see you next time. Sadly, you know what? I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about it later. It's not, something was postponed, and it's going to be postponed to Saturday. So uh, I was kind of disappointed I couldn't do it uh, on Saturday, but you know it's been postponed to Friday, or no, postponed on the 11th, which is next Saturday. So yeah, so I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all be easy. Yeah, maybe I might have a new computer at this point. Yeah, you know what? That might be a blessing in disguise. Yeah, it might be a blessing in disguise on that. So anyway, let me get out of here. Thank you for being here, George. Excuse me. I'll see you next time. I'm out. Oh man, this turkey, man, this turkey and dressing I had today, and this ham, man, Easter's like a second Thanksgiving. I'm telling you. Oof, oof. Let me get out of here, y'all. I'm full, man. I'm full like a tick. See you next time. I'm out.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.